Hello, everyone, and welcome to Inside the Hoop. Hello, everyone.
Hi,
oh, my goodness. It's Kim Christopherson here and
Deanna Lindley.
And we're missing someone.
We're missing Ginger. And it's
are.
never the same when one of us aren't here, is it?
It really isn't. We certainly miss her. Ginger is actually out of town for the next couple of weeks.
Yes.
Doing all kinds of fun Kimberbell stuff with trade shows for sure.
Yes.
But we certainly miss her. But, you know, it may be just the two of us this week. We're so sorry for that. But next week, join us because we're going to have a special guest co-host.
Yes, and you guys do not want to miss that. Yeah. She's so delightful.
Definitely. Now, this week, you know, as I was thinking about the kind of question we'd want to find out from you and get to know you kind of thing, I was thinking about what you made, Deanna, last week with your apron for your daughter-in-law.
Yes.
And it got me thinking, now, how many of us are making gifts to bring to like the Thanksgiving dinner, to bring to a Christmas celebration, to bring to the hostess of some type of big shindig?
Yes.
Do you do that? Do you do that?
You know,
chime in the comments.
I'm kind of hit and miss. Yeah? You know, some years if I come up with something or I walk across something, I'm like, oh, this would be so cute. Yeah. And then other years I'm like, you know, too busy doing other things, I guess.
I don't think I do it often enough.
Right.
My mom is a good example to me of someone who, whenever we have a birthday party, any kind of thing, whoever's house it's being hosted at, she always brings like a little something, like a little pot of flowers or something.
Such a cute idea.
I need to be more like that.
One thing that I do pride myself on is if I go and stay at someone's house, like if I'm a guest in their home and I stay over, whether it's family or a good friend, I try to bring something. Because usually I'm kicking a nephew or a niece or someone out of their bed.
Right.
And so I try to bring what I call a little pillow treat that I leave, whether it's a gift card or a little special treat that they love, and I leave that on their pillow when I leave. Just to tell them thank you for giving up their space for me.
Kudos right there. Right there. I like that. How about you guys out there? Chime in the comments. Do you bring a gift to whoever's hosting the party? And if so, what is it? Give us some ideas.
Yeah.
So what is anyone saying anything here, Dakota?
A few people were saying mug rugs.
Oh, genius.
There you go. I like that. Mug rugs. Okay. Anyone else?
Sherry says that she loves making something for Thanksgiving and Christmas, like a personalized gift for each person.
Oh my gosh.
Sweet.
That's awesome. I love that.
That is a labor of love.
Yeah.
Because you have to start months in advance to be able to do that.
Right. Definitely. Well, yeah, we keep typing in those comments because we need the ideas for sure.
That's right.
I think it is a really lovely thing to be able to do that. Just shows a little, you know, that little extra thank you for saying thank you for hosting so that I didn't have to clean my own house.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Thank you for taking this
yourself.
on. So I didn't have to. Yes.
Right. Well, speaking of that apron that you made for your daughter-in-law, today you're going to show us the second half of how that all came together,
yes,
right?
Yes, I am. So for those of you that missed last week's episode, you can absolutely go back and watch that.
Yeah.
There's a link and you can always go back and watch that episode. Also, so what we did last week is I just showed you, I laid out the apron. I used those clear blue tiles to mark the hem of the apron where I wanted to do the stitching. And you guys saw how simple and easy that was. So this week, you're going to get to see the finished product.
Oh, I can't wait. Let's go ahead and take a look. All right, so we have this sticky back.
Yes.
Now I know, I agree with you, Deanna. Having to just float something like that is so much easier sometimes.
Simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are we going to do next?
Okay, so next we're going to take the hoop over to the machine and I'm going to go ahead and stitch those crosshairs out, and that will help me know exactly where to line up my crosshair markings on my apron with the crosshairs on the hoop.
Yeah, for sure. We'll use the little thumbtack method that you
Yes.
showed a few weeks ago. And where can they get that crosshairs file?
You can go to kimberbell.com and that file is on there and you can download that.
Yeah, and it's free. So let's do it.
Okay. Okay, so we're just going to use that thumbtack method that we showed you a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And place that
I love this method.
Here. It just makes it so simple. So right in the center of that.
You see that poking out
that?
there?
Let's see if we can do it at an angle here.
Let's even turn it over so they can see that it's nice and flat on the back.
Flat on this side, and we're just going to use that to mark. And then we'll take it off before we get on the machine. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I want to mark that up with my crosshairs here. So I'm aiming for that little dot right there. So I'm just going to get that little dot.
Yeah, that little dot is where your needle is going to drop. So it's going to be in the center of your hoop by matching that thumbtack to the dot that you made on your apron.
Okay, so then we just want to pull this out, make sure it's all.
This is why we love the sticky back.
Yes, this is what makes it. Sticky back really does help, and it's very forgiving. That's one thing that I love about the Kimberbell sticky back is if you didn't get it placed just exactly right, you can pull it up and stick it back down, and it is very forgiving. It allows you to do that.
So Deanna, tell them how you knew which way to hoop.
Okay, so this is the arrow that was on the clear blue tile that we used for marking. This is telling me that this direction needs to go at the top of my hoop. And here are the arrows telling me this is the top of my hoop. So you just want to make sure this arrow is pointing the same direction as this arrow.
I cannot wait to see these turkeys.
I know, they're going to be so cute. I'm so excited. Okay, but don't forget to remove this tack before you go to the machine. So pull that out, set that aside because we'll use it again in just a minute when we shift this down to the next area of the apron. But let's go put it in the machine and start stitching. Now we're going to find the file size that matches our tile size. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how to get to those files on our machine. We're going to pick the border Thanksgiving one, tap on that. We're going to go to the embroidery files. And today we're using the clear blue tile method. So we're going to open that one. Just find the one that goes with your machine. There's all these different, for me, this is the file that I need to use for the machine that I have. Okay, now we're just going to look for that turkey border. Because I used the 5x14 tile to mark this area of the apron, I'm now going to find that same size on the machine. So right here you can see it says 5x14. So that's the one that I want to click on to use. Are you ready? Here we go. So, are you guys ready to see the finished product?
Yes.
This was so much fun, you guys. Okay, here is, as you can see, it's just one of our gray pinstripe aprons.
Yeah.
And down here at the bottom, let's see if we can get a close-up of this so you can see this.
Yeah, let's show it. Let's see. Right
Get
there.
in on these
yes.
turkeys. So I just used that turkey one. It kind of looks like he's doing a little cartwheel across the bottom of my apron. Isn't that cute? And I did
Adorable.
the 5x14, as you saw, tile size. because I kind of wanted it big.
Yeah.
I knew that the thread line was going to be kind of light and subtle, so I wanted it to be big and bold. But look how cute that turkey is.
It is so darling.
Anyway, this was so fun, you guys, and really so fast.
Yeah.
It was such a quick, easy project. So if you're looking for something quick and easy, this is it. It doesn't get any quicker or easier than this.
You really used your apron like a canvas for putting a design on.
Yes. And I know some people have asked, when you use the background quilting, do you have to use batting? The answer is no.
No
batting.
Not in this case.
No,
certainly.
I did not. I did not use it.
Absolutely. If you were doing a quilt,
of course,
then you use the batting. But something
this is just a single layer of fabric.
Add a design to.
Yes, just add a design to. I just used that sticky back wash away stabilizer. It makes it so you can just float it in the hoop.
Which you love.
Which I love. You guys all know that's my favorite.
Yep.
It's like the beginner's advantage.
Right.
And I've shown you guys such an easy way to just do those crosshairs and the thumbtack method that makes it really easy to hoop and line up. Yeah. But this was so fun. I didn't think about it till after the fact, but as I was driving here today, I thought, oh my goodness, it would have been so cute to maybe just do a 1-inch little row of pumpkins up here.
Oh, yes.
Or you could even do it along the waistband or across the waist if you wanted to make more of a...
Oh, there's so many cute things.
Where that natural
like a 1-inch border.
Yes.
Design would
There's
be perfect
some really
on that.
cute ones. So the possibilities really are endless. There's all kinds of things you can do. It does not require batting.
Yeah. And the other thing that, would be so cute is, remember last week when Ginger did the Count Your Blessings on the tea towel?
Yes.
How cute would that be?
It would be adorable to just put it right here on this bib. So really, it's just a great way to take something really simple, like an apron, and just personalize it. And you can do each one different.
Now, if someone wanted to get that turkey border, how would they find it?
Just go to kimberbell.com. You're going to look under products and
background quilting.
Background quilting.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we'll put a link in there.
Yeah, we always like to link it. That makes it really easy to find. You can click on that link and it'll take you right to it.
Yeah, Deanna.
But there's a bunch of fall designs there. So look through them because you really could personalize it in so many ways.
Oh yeah. Ooh, now I'm thinking Christmas, like the gingerbread border.
Oh my goodness. And do a cute gingerbread applique of some kind. Yeah, it really is.
Oh yeah, get those minds going, right?
And you guys send us your ideas. Now that we have shown you how easy it is to use clear blue tiles and to do quilting on
anything,
not just a quilt,
right? Have you guys used clear blue tiles on a project beyond the quilt? Go ahead and chime in the comments. We'd love to hear. Have you used clear blue tiles on something besides your normal, typical quilt sandwich? What have you done? Let us know in the comments.
Yes, please do share. We love the inspiration that we get from each other.
Definitely. Do we have any answers yet?
Yes, Mary says it would be fun to do that turkey border along a hemline of a little girl's dress.
Oh, yes.
Darling. Absolutely.
Yes. Agree 100%.
That would be darling.
Yeah. What else?
And then JC says she'd want to use it on a purse.
Okay.
Oh, I like that.
Kind of like the zipper pouches, right?
Oh, yeah.
Sherry says
like
you could put them on a towel.
Yes.
Oh, that would be a good idea for like a
little
wedding
tea
gift.
towel. Yeah. Or a hostess gift.
Definitely.
Would be really cute.
I love that idea. Oh, there's some good ones coming in. Do you have another one, Dakota?
Anne says table runners.
Yes.
We love
table runners. We love our we do love our table runners.
Yeah, just get your basic standard table runner, or even you throw one together, real quick
with your
scrap fabric, add a little bit of something to it.
Yeah.
We like to call it a little bit of embellishment.
That's right.
A little bit of adornment.
That's right.
To make anything just look just
unique
and different.
Yeah, top notch.
I love it. All right. So, this last week, of course, we showed you how to use clear blue tiles in a whole new way by doing it on something beyond the quilt. But did you know that we have a second method of quilting here at Kimberbell? I think you did because many of you use it. And of course, that second method is called block by block quilting. So this is a method that we use when we want to put our quilting in the background of our applique designs. And we do it, therefore, calling it block by block. It's almost like a quilt as you go kind of method. So I thought it would be fun to, first of all, show you what we're talking about here with some samples that Deanna brought today. And then we're going to go back into my sewing room for a little tutorial on how to do block by block quilting. Let's go ahead and start with some of those projects you brought, though.
This one is going to look really familiar to you. This is our In All Things Give Thanks pillow. But I wanted to show you some of these blocks. Like this one is applique, and it has the applique over it.
Yeah.
But I don't know how close we can get in on these. We'll have to put some of the shots in our show notes if we can get closer. But
there we go.
Yes, there we go. Okay, so here's our little turkey. You can't see the stitching, but the stitching goes down first, and then you applique over the top of it.
Yeah. I love that. You did that here in this block as well. The In All Things Give Thanks. The background quilting's behind it.
And then the words and the applique go over the top.
Okay, yes. I love that.
And I love it too because when you do the block by block, it accounts for where you're going to have that stitching around the edge. So it just helps with that. So that you're...
Definitely. It accounts for that seam allowance so that you don't have batting in your seams. Let's take a look at another pillow project that you can download at Kimberbell, and that is the Home is Where the Haunt Is pillow. This has to be one of my favorites.
It's so cute.
But I love
has so many fun
quilting on this particular block. I actually used an orange velveteen in the background. So therefore you can really see the dimension of that background quilting there with the spider webs. Oh,
velveteen is great for that.
Isn't that awesome? And again, because I chose the block by block quilting method, now I can quilt each of these blocks as I go and then sew it all together at the end. And as I mentioned earlier, you're not going to have batting inside your seams, so you're not going to have that extra bulk, which is awesome.
And I love you can change it up. Like each of these blocks has like a different background quilting. Yeah. So fun. Okay, we have one more just because, you know, we can't leave out Christmas here.
Right.
So this is Merry Christmas, y'all pillow.
And y'all good night.
That's right. That's right. But again, it's just background quilting and then you applique. This has a lot of fun dimensions to it too.
Yeah.
That just add to the fun of it.
Well, and we even used background quilting in the borders here too, because we did put a little bit of batting behind each of those borders. And that's just going to give it a little bit more texture. And then when we sewed it all together, there's no extra bulk in the seam.
It's awesome. It's awesome. That's all I can say.
All right. So are you ready to learn all about block by block quilting? Let's go ahead and take a little look inside my sewing room as I show you a tutorial on how to do just that. At Kimberbell, we often use two different methods of quilting. The first is what we call the clear blue tiles method, and the second is called block by block quilting. The first, being the clear blue tiles method, is when we want the look of traditional quilting, like we would when we would take our quilt to a long armor. And that is that we layer our top piece of fabric on top, and then we sandwich in between a piece of project batting, and then we have our bottom layer of fabric. And thus, the quilting goes through all three layers. And the second being our block by block quilting. Here are a few examples where we've used it at Kimberbell. You can see that we've done it with wall hangings and table runners. We've done it with bench pillows, you name it. If you want your background quilting to be behind your applique, then the block by block method is a great way to go. Now, one of the differences that you're going to have between block by block quilting and clear blue tiles quilting is simply this. With block by block quilting, it's kind of like a quilt as you go kind of method. Basically, what you're going to be doing is one block at a time where you will load your files and you'll go through a series of quick steps that I'm going to show you right now so that your batting is not sewn inside the seams. This is pretty awesome because when you do your quilting on each block, and each block can be so different from one another, and then you sew those blocks together, there's those extra steps that we've included in the background quilting files for the block by block method that eliminate that extra batting in your seams. So that means when you go to sew all your blocks together, there's no extra bulk in the seams. It really is a fun method, and I'm going to show you now how easy it is to do. Now, as I'm about to get started, I wanted to show you that I've already hooped my lightweight cutaway stabilizer. I've cut my backing fabric, and this is the fabric where the quilting is going to go. I've actually already fused a piece of our fusible backing to it, so that's going to help eliminate any puckering. And then I also have a piece of my project batting. Now I'm going to pull up the 4x6 file on here, but with your background quilting designs, you're going to get, I think, 22 different sizes of background quilting available to you. And if it's a directional design, you're actually going to get 44, because you're going to have designs that go both up and down and side to side. So here's an example of what I'm talking about. If I were to do these trees horizontal, it looks like this, but that same size of block vertical is going to look like this. All right, so again, if it's a directional design, you're going to have double the design files available to you. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, I'm ready to pull up my snowman design, and because of the all over design that the snowman is, I'm going to have the two different folders appear. I'm going to have both the block by block method as well as the clear blue tiles method. Now the clear blue tiles method is not going to give you those extra steps for trimming away your batting because you already have the batting in when you went to do your quilt sandwich. Therefore, we're going to use the block by block method because we do want the extra steps to trim away our batting. Now, as you can see, you're going to have all of the different formats available to you. And in my case, I am using the PES format, so I'm going to click on that. Now, from here, you're going to see that all the 22 different file sizes, anywhere from a 2x2 design, 2x8, you name it, it's all in there. I'm going to go ahead and show you even more all the different sizes that are available to you. Because I'm using the 5x7 hoop though, and I want my design to be 4x6, then I am going to find that one. All right, so now you see that this is the 4x6 design, but you might be wondering, wait a minute, why does it say 4.5 by 6.5? Well, that's because of those extra batting and placement lines you have on the outside edge. So just know that if you're using the block by block method, that is already accounting for the seam allowance that is going to be part of your block. The 4x6 size refers to what the finished size of your block is going to be. So let's go ahead and do our 5 simple steps to do the background quilting on this snowman design. All right, I have my lightweight cutaway stabilizer in there. So I'm ready to do step number 1, which is the placement line, so I know where to place my batting. Now I'm going to place my batting on top of that placement line. I just want to make sure that my batting is large enough than the placement line and it covers the whole thing. In the instructions, you'll always have a list of what project batting sizes to cut according to the design you're using. But in any case, you just want to make sure that it's larger than the placement line. Now I'm also going to use a couple pieces of paper tape to hold that batting in place. The next step is the tack down line for the batting. Next, I want to trim away the extra batting from that tack down line. So the easiest way to do that is to actually move the hoop from the machine and then place it on a flat surface to trim. The next step is our placement line for our fabric, and you're going to notice here that it's going to stitch a 1/4 inch around the outside edge of this entire batting stitch line. So let's go ahead and see what that looks like. Now that you have that 1/4 inch seam allowance, oh, you're going to love it. You know exactly where to place your piece of fabric. And again, just make sure that it's larger than that outside edge. Now, according to the instructions of any of your blocks, it'll give you a larger piece, but in either case, you just want to make sure it's larger than the block itself. All right, so I've placed that on there. Again, just to prevent this fabric from shifting, I'm going to use a couple pieces of our paper tape. And then it's going to do the tack down stitch of the fabric and then continue on with the background quilting of those snowmen. Well, there it is. Isn't it fun? Now, this may look kind of an odd size right now because it hasn't been trimmed down. But once you trim it to the size that you want, which in this case is a 4.5 by 6.5 inch size, then you're going to see that there will be no batting inside your seams. And then when you go to sew this to the next block and the next block, there's going to be no extra bulk because of those extra steps with block by block quilting. Now, the other thing to think about this is that you can certainly add applique designs or, a name or a phrase or any other kind of embroidery onto the top of this. This will stay in the background. You've just learned how to do background quilting using the block by block method from Kimberbell. But what if you wanted to take something like this and turn it into something like maybe a pincushion or maybe a mug rug? Here's a few examples. Helped you to see really how easy block by block quilting can be. It's a whole lot of fun. Next week, we're going to actually then continue to show you how to add designs to that block by block quilting, and then even finish it off into like a little project just with that one block. So one of those projects is going to be an ornament for Christmas. So join us next week for that.
Okay. Well, before we end today, I wanted to share with you, you know how we love to share viewer tips. Well, today I wanted to share one from Mary Royal Hawkins. It says, my hint is to take a Sharpie and mark the dimensions of my embroidery hoop on them. I have so many, and many do not have the dimensions on them by the manufacturer. And I love this tip, especially as a newbie, it gets a little bit confusing. So on some of the hoops that I have seen, it was helpful to mark the hoop size and the embroidery filled size. So just to add to piggyback off Mary's tip, I would say that's another tip that you can do is just add those two different sizes on there. That way it's a little bit less confusing when you're reading the instructions, and you can differentiate between that hoop size and the actual embroidery filled size that you'll be doing your project on.
That's a great tip. Absolutely. I love that tip from Mary about just using that Sharpie marker to mark on your hoop. Fantastic. All right, everyone. Well, thank you for joining us today. If you learned something new and you enjoyed Inside the Hoop, we'd be so grateful if you shared it with all of your embroidery friends out there. It's really easy to do. You just click on the little share button. I believe it's right below this video. Click share and let other people know about what you've learned from Inside the Hoop. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Until next week, we'll see you really soon. We're, of course, going to have our guest co-host on again, so we can't wait for that. And until then, keep doing what you love and keep enjoying and experiencing the joy of creativity. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.